Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Behavior Blueprint. I am joined today with my oldest, my 9-year-old Lola, but in our blended family, she is fourth. And she is going to answer all of your questions from the kid perspective. So, Lola, are you comfortable sharing about?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lola has ADHD and anxiety. Are you aware of everything I post when I talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about me talking about it?
I feel okay because I already know that other people have it. Like if other people didn't have it, I'd be like, nope.
Okay. And so you guys have submitted some questions. So Lola is going to answer them. She does not know them at all. I have not censored her. The only thing I said is don't say your last name. Did I give you any other rules?
Nope.
No. So if you've ever wondered what your 9-year-old thinks, Lola's going to show you. Hi, I'm Mandy Grass, the family behaviorist, and these are 3 of my favorite little humans.
Hi. Hi, Mom's podcast. Let's do this.
Let's do this. This is the Behavior Blueprint where we can figure out why kids do what they do.
Is that why parents yell sometimes?
Sometimes, because parenthood is messy, behavior is complex, but with the right blueprint, we can figure it out together.
Yeah.
So, Lola, are you comfortable sharing about?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lola has ADHD and anxiety. Are you aware of everything I post when I talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about me talking about it?
I feel okay because I already know that other people have it. Like if other people didn't have it, I'd be like, nope.
Okay. And so you guys have submitted some questions. So Lola is going to answer them. She does not know them at all. I have not censored her. The only thing I said is don't say your last name. Did I give you any other rules?
Nope.
No. So if you've ever wondered what your 9-year-old thinks, Lola's going to show you. Okay, I'm going to get into the questions. Is there anything that you want to tell our podcast listeners about yourself? Why don't you tell them a little bit about you?
Well, I really like art and it's sometimes easy to when I'm feeling overwhelmed, just go to the great room and color. So, and find a box and just be like, let's turn it into a mini doghouse or something.
Yes, Lola is incredibly creative. That is your what?
My power.
Yes, that is your superpower. So, okay, so some of the questions. Do you remember when you got diagnosed with ADHD?
I was first grade and I was looking all over the place, what is going on. I was not really focusing on my things, and the tests were a little hard because I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to your parent-teacher conference, and your teacher was like, you were getting some support for reading, and your teacher was like, she has a little bit of trouble focusing. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went home and I was like, wait a second. And I went back and I was like, what are you trying to say? She's like, I'm just saying Lola has a little bit of trouble focusing. And so then we went and do you remember this? We did a neuropsychological exam.
No, I don't.
You don't remember that test?
No.
Do you remember driving up there, what I told you about it?
Yeah, you were saying you either have maybe ADHD or dyslexic or somehow they combine and make something else.
So yeah, a super disability. Yes, because I told you I'm dyslexic and you could be dyslexic. I told you your daddy has ADHD. You could have ADHD. And what did we learn?
I have ADHD.
You have ADHD, right? So we learned that at that neuropsychological exam. So that was in first grade. All right, Lola, what have teachers done for you in school that helps you the most with your ADHD?
Well, I have this teacher. She's a reading teacher, and we do things every day. And on Thursdays we play bingo.
Okay.
And then sometimes if you get Little Star, which is 9 into it, you get a little prize, a squishy or a fidget spinner. And then Big Star, you get a coloring book or a craft kit. Or
so your teacher uses positive reinforcement?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How do you earn stars?
By either being there or getting homework. She'll write the date and then write HW at the end.
Okay.
And then if it's just a day, you don't write anything at the end. And then once you fill up to Big Star, you get something big. And Little Star, one of the things is dress her up for the day.
Nice. Okay. For Lola, what does your mom do that you feel helps you the most when it comes to your ADHD?
Well, she will sit down and talk to me, and we'll talk about some things that I can work on, maybe take deep breaths or go to the bathroom for a minute, or splash water in my face, or our family does. Sometimes it's take a wet washcloth and put it on your face and rest for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Gigi used to do that to me when I was a kid.
And you'll calm down for a few minutes, and then we'll talk about more things that we can like work on.
Okay. I love that. Yeah, we work on strategies a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to tell someone you have ADD, how would you like them to respond?
Like, oh, cool, my sister has it, or like, my friend has it, or like because like a lot of kids like have like dyslexic or ADHD.
Yeah, a lot of kids have a lot of things, right?
Yeah, so like they can be like, oh, I can relate to that.
I love that. Okay. This is somebody asking, how did you know it was time for meds and what was the process of starting them? So we started meds in first grade.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, what I remember. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go
You
first?
can go first.
So what I remember is you had a friend in your class and you came home and I was like, how's it feeling? And you're like, Mom, she focuses and I'm sitting there and I'm trying so hard and like she can just sit there and listen the whole time and it's so hard for me. That's what a thing you said to me that I was like, oh no, I don't want you to feel that way. I didn't want you to have to work so hard to focus.
Yeah, and like all I remember was like it was like hard. Like all the kids were listening. Then like on my tests, I'd be like, "Wait, what the heck are we doing?"
Yes, exactly. And one of the things we talked about, I did a podcast the other day about girls with ADHD, and I thought a lot about this. You are very socially aware. So at school, I think it might be a little bit easier because if you don't pay attention for a minute, your mind wanders and then it wanders back. You're very good at like looking around and seeing what people are doing or looking for the directions and you can jump back in. At home, if I'm like, hey, Lola, go upstairs and do whatever, you sometimes get distracted and there's no other cue to save you.
I'm just like,
And then you're like, Mom, what am I supposed to be doing? What's your go-to phrase? What do you say to me all the time? Mom, I got
distracted. What was I supposed to get?
Exactly. What are some things that help you that you've noticed that we do with the distractibility?
Like sometimes you'll like write a list and
Yes.
we'll like go back and forth, and sometimes like you'll like tell me one thing and be like repeat it in your head maybe.
Mm-hmm. Or we do that. Okay, you have to go upstairs and get your brush, your blanket, and your slippers or whatever, and we'll hold 3 fingers out. One thing you're very good at doing, though, I think, you're very good at telling me, like, I'm feeling overwhelmed with the amount of directions you're giving me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to our med journey. Okay, so you've been on med since first grade, and Lola, you are in what grade now?
4th.
4th grade. Okay. How do you feel? So we medicate on the weekends, right? Why do we medicate on the weekends?
So that like let's say we go to Fun City, I'm just like, ah!
Okay. And so you have inattentive ADHD, which means you're very distracted. You can get hyper, but your ADHD is like highly, highly distracted. It's called inattentive. And do you remember when we started taking meds on the weekends?
No.
Okay, I will tell you. I remember the day it started. We were at lacrosse game. We were at a lacrosse practice. No, it was a game. It was a Saturday. And everyone's in the team huddle. I'm coaching your team. So all of us are in the team huddle. And you are like this, staring at the other team across the field. And I was like, hello? And then I was like, oh no, I'm doing her a disservice. Do you feel comfortable sharing with people about in the fall, we had a day where we forgot meds, right? It was a Sunday and we had soccer and we were running all around. Do you remember this day?
No.
Okay, do you remember it was the end of the day and I'd asked you and Jerry had asked you to change out of your uniform?
Oh yeah, and like
do you mind sharing that story?
Like I would be like, so they asked me the first time, and I'd like go upstairs and be like playing the like time like be doing makeup, doing like everything. Then I'd go back downstairs, like go to read a book, and they'd be like, Lola, take off your uniform, and I'd be like, okay, but then I'd forget the bag, and then I'd just be like, oh, let's go play with Marley, and then I'd come back downstairs. They'd ask me again. And then finally just someone snapped, and then I just did it. I'm like, yep, going.
Right, so somebody snapped because we got frustrated. But do you remember I came up to your room because I could tell the look in your eyes. You looked at me and you go, got it. And I could tell. I could tell what was about to happen. Do you remember what happened?
I got cried.
Tears, lots of tears. And do you remember what you said?
Why do I... No. It was, why am I always distracted?
Yeah, I hate my ADHD. You didn't feel good about yourself that day. And that was really, really hard for me. Do you feel a difference in your body when you're on meds and when you're off of meds?
When I'm on meds, it's like I can like focus better and like I know what I'm doing. Off meds, I'm like, the dogs, the car, like just running around and like not focusing.
So are you comfortable if I share the medication you're on?
Oh
Okay, so it's called methylphenidate, and it's 20 milligrams long acting. So Lola takes it in the morning, and the way it works, in my very cursory understanding, is like a little bit is diagnosed, a little bit is released all day long to sustain a level. When would you say your meds wear off?
yeah. About like 3 to yeah, like about 3.
How do you know?
Because I'm just like all of a sudden like starts getting harder work, and I'm like,
Okay, and so we also sometimes do, or we try to often do, a 5 milligram booster. Do you notice a difference with that?
yeah.
How do you feel about being on meds for ADHD?
It helps me much better because like I know that like it's easier to like know what I'm doing and stay on it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So a couple of questions here. Lola was 6. You were 6 when you were diagnosed. And to be honest, for an inattentive girl, that is early. I give her teacher so much credit. Do you know, I went back to your kindergarten teacher and I was like, were you trying to tell me? And I didn't realize. And she was like, no, I didn't notice, which made me feel better because I live with you and I didn't notice. But then once somebody said something, I was like, oh, wait a second. You are the queen of walking away from the downstairs freezer and leaving the door open. You are the queen of walking away from a running faucet. Do you know how many times I've come up to your room and the faucet's been running in your bathroom? A lot of times. Okay, somebody asked, do you ever have trouble falling asleep?
Like sometimes like I'd be like looking out the window and just like zooming out, and like sometimes I'm just like laying in my bed and like I might stay up till 10, and then I'm like, okay, now I gotta really close my eyes.
Okay, somebody wants to know, what is your best advice for other girls like you?
Well, if like it's harder, like maybe tell an adult and like ask like if like you can like one year I was like, hey, can I like maybe get like a teacher to help because like it was really hard. So
Oh, you're gonna make me want to cry. I think that is hands down the best advice because you have no idea how many girls, especially girls, because they tend to be inattentive. So it's less like jumping off the wall. They just think that that's what it's supposed to be like. And so the fact that you are so articulate and you said to me in first grade, Mom, I am having so much trouble focusing. And you articulated to me how much easier it looked for everyone. This is one thing we've talked about. Do you know what self-esteem is?
No.
Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself, right? And I want you to have like the most self-esteem in the world. I want you to know that you are, I was going to say badass. Hey, badass, that you're a cool kid, that you are, you know, smart and funny and capable. I want you to feel really good about yourself. And so one of the reasons we went to medication, or probably the biggest reason, is you were starting to not feel good about yourself because you were like, I'm trying so hard and it's not enough. And so that's something that happens to girls with ADHD. And so you being so articulate and talking about it is amazing. That makes me so, so proud of you. Yes, I agree. Tell a teacher. Okay. What are some things you wish your teacher understood about your life, ADHD or otherwise? We do have a little bit of a crazy life. Do you want to tell people about our crazy life?
Yeah, like
Okay.
a lot of like I feel like some other people don't like understand it, and then I'm like,
Don't understand ADHD?
yeah, and then they're like, do this, and do this, and do this, and I'm like,
So do you wish people understood that it's a lot of information for you to hold at one time?
yeah.
Yeah, that's called your working memory. That's holding information for processing and then regurgitating it. And that is difficult for you with multi-step directions,
Yeah,
especially.
but like I'm like walking, and then all of a sudden it like flops out of my head like a pancake.
It flops out of your head like a pancake. I love that, Lola. Okay. All right. So we also have talked about you have ADHD, and something that happens with a lot of girls with ADHD, with a lot of people with ADHD, is they also have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have anxiety? And do you feel comfortable talking about it?
Yes.
Okay.
And anxiety is kind of like all of a sudden you just feel like, what if this happens next? And like, what if this happens next? And like, I'm like I forgot to feed the dog. What if they have to go to the vet? What if like...
That's exactly what anxiety is. Worries about the future. That's exactly what it is. That was perfect. So you do get very anxious, and there's like physical symptoms sometimes to when you're anxious. What does it look like when you're anxious?
Well, when I'm anxious, it like looks like. Well, I don't really know because like I'm like my own self and I don't like see.
Okay, so
it.
can I give you an example that maybe you can articulate? Do you remember when we were up at the ski lodge and we were going in for lunch and a lot of people were going in the door at the same time? Do you remember what that looked like, your anxiety looked like in that moment?
I was like very irritated. I'm like, I just want to like go and like I just want to punch everybody. Like, oh, get out of my way.
So you didn't punch anyone, but you did say to me, like, I am really angry right now. Everyone's pushing through. Another time, we were up at the top of the ski mountain. We were all getting hot chocolate, and there wasn't any cream left for your hot chocolate. Do you remember how that presented?
I felt like all the boys like took like 10 of them, like all of them, and I was like so angry.
Yeah. So one of the biggest symptoms of your anxiety is anger. Yeah, anger and overwhelm. So, and that's common. Sometimes anxiety can present as feeling really angry. So, somebody asked here, do you mind sharing what we do on Monday afternoon? Sometimes you and Parker?
Oh yeah, we have kind of like a tutor for like lacrosse and soccer. Her name's
Yes, not that part. I was talking about therapy. Are you comfortable telling people you're doing therapy?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lola's in therapy, and you are working with your therapist. We do also do lacrosse with Miss Morgan. We love Miss Morgan.
Monday, I was like,
it is. I know. So, what are some of your coping strategies that you're working on for either the anxiety or the ADHD?
For 80.
Can I remember one time you went in there? I think you often tell me Lola goes in by herself. I'm not privy to those conversations, but she often does share the strategies that they're working on. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, one time you were talking to her about sometimes you can be perceived as annoying.
Yeah.
And she was giving you some strategies to when you need to move your body that might be less in people's faces. Do you remember what that one was?
Yeah, it was like the ragdoll thing where like you clutch your face, 1, 2, 3, let it all out. Then like move your elbows up and then like maybe clutch your fists after and then let it out.
That's great. Okay, so then what are some of the other coping strategies she's given you when you start to feel anxious?
Well, when I start to feel anxious, it like so you have to like take a deep breath. Maybe like when I like was kept moving, and then I start feeling anxious because like everybody's feeling like, oh my god, push your heels into the floor, and like just stay still and like take deep breath and like maybe like right now I was squishy, like maybe squish it and be like like before like you burst, kind of.
That's wonderful. Okay, how can I help my 9-year-old understand about her ADHD?
Well, ADHD is kind of just like, it's more like you like can't focus. So like if like maybe like sometimes Miss Wilma, like if somebody asks like what are we doing, they're like ask a friend. So like it's good to have like a friend to ask if you like lose like your focus. Or, like,
yeah, and I think maybe something you don't realize is we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So we as a family talk about it. We catch moments. Remember in the fall, do you remember this? We talked about this at the doctor's office. You would be, if somebody'd be like, I'm playing soccer this weekend, and what would you do?
Oh, I'm playing soccer too.
I'm going to go on a boat ride.
Oh, I have a boat.
Oh, I think I'm going to ski.
Oh, I ski every weekend in the winter.
So you did this one time, and then you and I talked about it, right? And I said, do you realize, what are you doing in those moments?
When it's somebody else's moment, you're like, oh, wait, I also can.
And why do you do that? Do you remember what you said, or do you remember in general why you do that?
Oh, because, no, I don't remember.
You told me that you have a thought in your head, and you are so worried that you're going to forget the thought that you just are like, and you word vomit all over everybody. And then you and I role played, right? And I did it back to you. And what did you realize about how that feels?
It feels kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm. So we came up with a cue, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are big on code words in this family. So we came up with a code word. Actually, I think it was this, right? A light on your arm. Just to let her know.
What? Banana, and then there was pizza pie.
A banana is banana's for everybody in our family when they're showing off. And then pizza pie was for you when you wanted me to know when you were feeling jealous. Can you tell everybody about the teeny revelation? So Jerry said to me, I think Lola rides Teeny for your attention. And I was like, that's not what's going on. You don't know Lola like I do. And then one day I repeated myself numerous times and I was very frustrated with you and Parker. And I went up to your room and I was like, you guys, how does it feel when you ask me for milk at breakfast and I don't get it for you? And then you said,
really annoying, so I just get it by myself.
yes, that part you did say. But then you said, I go, when I'm not paying attention to you, you said,
I ride Teeny to get your attention.
I mean, eye-opening. Is every time you ride Teeny to get my attention?
Not always. Sometimes it's just because she's annoying me.
So what did we talk about, though? Because we're going to bring this back to behavior terms. Replacement behavior. What did I tell you to do instead?
Just ask for your attention.
Who in our family is very good at asking for my attention?
Parker.
Parker. Every day. Mom, I need some attention. Do you think that there's part of the reason you don't ask for my attention is your anxiety, is that you don't want to be a burden to anyone?
I don't want to be a burden at all, and I just don't want to be like that annoying.
Mm-hmm. So Lola also, in addition to ADHD and anxiety, has eldest daughter syndrome. Lola is a people pleaser. She doesn't ever want to make anybody upset. And so that also is all of the things that we are working on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have advice for a 9-year-old who does not want to take her ADHD medicine?
Well, I noticed that like at first I'm like, I don't want to take it. I feel like it's weird. But then after I realized that it helps me, and then like more people are like, hey, like sometimes I feel like people would be like, Lola's like not focusing. She's like not doing that. I don't know. But like if I take it, it's kind of like better because I know that it helps me.
What are the top 2 things that help with your emotional regulation? Do you know what emotional regulation is?
No.
It means like a big reaction. What are things when you're angry mostly? So what are 2 things that really help you when you're feeling angry?
I like to like go like into my room and just like maybe like yell into a pillow or like punch a pillow or just like hug it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, Lola, what would you say to other girls with ADHD? What is your ADHD superpower?
Like art and kind of like creativity.
I agree with that. Okay, do you have any tips for the late afternoon when the ADHD meds have worn off? Is there anything that helps you during that time?
Well, I like to like take deep breaths and like try to keep calm.
Okay. How do we prevent anxiety in eldest daughters? Well, Lola and I talk a lot about this, and you also talk about it in therapy, right? And I am a third born, but I have eldest daughter traits. And so
You're kind of like the eldest daughter.
yeah. So my sisters have a different dad, so I'm like eldest and third, kind of like your eldest and fourth in our blended family. And I feel this. So how much of this is eldest daughter, and how much of this is learned behavior? Because I do not ever want to be an inconvenience to anybody. I don't want to say no. I don't want anyone to have to do more work. I will figure it out. I will do it myself. So like, how much of that have I taught to you? But we talk about it a lot. And one thing I am learning, and that you and I are actually learning together, is that people can say no, right?
Yeah.
People make their own choices. And so we can ask for the things we want, and it's okay if people say no.
If I like ask Parker, do you want to play Barbies? It can sometimes be no, and it can sometimes be yes. Like I can't like force her to do it. Like you better play.
That's very true. Somebody on here said, my child hates checklists. I gotta find this question, hold on. When you feel anxious or angry, do you physically feel it in your body?
Yeah, because like
where?
My fist, like we did this in therapy, like on my fist clench. Like, where do you feel it when you feel like anger or anxiety? Like my fist clench. Like I feel like my feet like feel hard, and then I'm like, oh, I just want to like.
So I physically, when I get anxious, I literally feel a tightening like in my ribs. Like that's what I feel. When I got my cousin's invitation and it was on your dance recital, I was like, oh no. Or if there's like a way that I can't make sure everybody needs to get anywhere, I feel it immediately here. Where do you feel it in your body?
Like my like head hurts.
Your head hurts. Okay. Any advice for somebody who does not like checklists?
Well, they help me, but like some other people might have different like opinions. So like if you know that it helps you, try it. Like my advice would be like to try it, and if you don't like it, like be like it might not be your thing.
My advice, so Lola makes a great point. I am dyslexic, so I had executive functioning deficit. So my parents tried to beat me overhead with a list up until I was like, I don't know, 15. Then finally I was like, oh my God, I think they might be right. Even now, if I'm like, I'm going to remember that idea, I absolutely do not. So I have to write it down. So sometimes you need continued exposure. But the other thing is the way you introduce the list. So start small. And we use a lot of reinforcement for using the list. So like Lola earned things. Right now we have money jars, but we had star charts in the past. And you have to reinforce attending to the list. Because you bought in. The other thing about Lola is Lola responds so well to a system that is set up for her. If you put a system in place, like you get home, we have uniform bags where you take off your uniform. We have these, they're washed in this bag. Lola is fabulous at that. Perfect at that. Lola, what was it like before we had uniform bags?
It was like you just throw in your uniform, and then it would be like, "Where's my other sock? Where's my other cleat?
I don't know where
my jersey."
Exactly. So figuring out the systems that your kids will utilize, and I will say the earlier you do them, the better. I think part of the reason I didn't recognize that Lola had ADHD was because we were having visual schedules and checklists regardless of ADHD. We are running a tight house over here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lola, we're going to wrap this up here in a minute. Is there anything that you would want parents to know? Is there anything you want me to know that would help you more with your ADHD or anxiety?
No.
Oh, two things we didn't talk about. Can you tell everybody about your journal?
Oh yeah. A journal is like if I don't feel like good about something, I might write it in my journal. Or if I'm like, I'm so excited, we got Teeny.
So we
but
have
like she's like a lot, she's biting. Mom would be like, oh, then we can.
So I'm going to back up and explain it a little bit. Lola and I have a shared journal. Parker and I have a shared journal as well that we both write in. And sometimes it's writing, if I've lost my cool, I write in it and I apologize and talk about what I could do differently. Sometimes there's prompts. I'll be like, tell me 2 really good things about our move and 1 thing that's not so great. Lola is very cool. Lola takes a highlighter and highlights my questions and responds to each one.
Or like
yeah, I love that.
Marker.
And so we have a journal that we share back and forth. So that is a place where, do you find it easier sometimes to write down things that are happening that might be uncomfortable to talk to me directly about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that has been a really cool outlet for us. I know I found our journal from like the old house the other day and I looked through it and I was like crying because it was so sweet to watch you grow up in that journal. Your handwriting got better, everything. How about this? Tell me 2 things I do really well for your ADHD and anxiety and 1 thing you wish I could do better.
2 things that you do better for my anxiety is you like recognize it, so you're like, okay, let's plan it out like that. Do you think that would happen? No.
Yes, we talk through. Sometimes.
Would you get eaten by a shark?
But even Lola said to me, can I tell this story? Last weekend, Lola was like, well, I didn't want to get in trouble. And I was like, okay, what does trouble look like? Do you remember what you said?
No.
You said to me, well, I don't want to be grounded. And I said, have I ever grounded you before?
No.
And then Lola goes, well, what is the thing going to be that causes you to ground me? And I was like, Lola, I don't think that's going to happen. One of the things I said to you is I try to give warnings. So I will say to you like, hey, if this continues, we might not be able to go to Ruby's, go get our nails done, whatever.
Yeah.
But I try not to be like, that's it. Right? Okay.
Wait,
so
what was the other question? So two
things that I do well. So I preview with you when we talk through is that, do you think that's realistic? Okay, that's 1 thing. Is there another thing that I do well?
You like recognize it. Like I already said it. Like
that I recognize it and that we talk about it a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm ready. The world's ready. The thousands of people listening are ready. What is the thing you wish I could do better?
I wish you could like
You can say it. I'm prepared.
I'm thinking of through. You could like because usually when you not like threaten,
go ahead,
but like say like you can't like if you keep this up, you might not go to Ruby's party. It kind of like makes you, oh no, if I don't go to Ruby's party, then, and then it's like
okay, so that threat contributes to your anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay. here's the now replacement behavior. Okay, so you told me the behavior I need to work on. What should I do differently? What would feel better? Because is it realistic that there's a consequence if you are like,
No.
what?
Oh, yes.
Is it realistic to have a consequence for extreme behavior? Like if I've asked you to clean your room and you're like, standing outside doing backflips and haven't picked up your dirty underwear, is it fair to have a consequence?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you like me to deliver the possibility of a consequence? Because you're saying to me, if I say to you, hey, if this continues, you can't go to Ruby's our cousin, Lola's cousin, that you're saying that kind of stresses you out. So what would be a better way for me to let you know that we're getting to a point where
there might not be well, that's just no.
One thing I tell parents to say is there'll be additional consequences. Would it be better if I left it? That almost feels like that would be more anxiety provoking.
Yeah, like that would be more. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
Maybe
what if I said like, hey, we need to take a reset because if we keep going down this path, we're going to have some consequences. What if I prompted a strategy instead?
Yeah, that'd be like easier.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more chance. One other thing you wish I would do better?
No, I don't know. You do great stuff.
Okay, well, this recording we can share with your therapist when you're 30 and you're talking about all the terrible things I did growing up. Okay, well, this has been Lola's Perspective, my wonderful 9-year-old, talking about all things ADD and ADHD and anxiety. I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. If this podcast has helped you even a little bit, leaving a review is one of the biggest ways that you can help me. It helps other parents find the show, and honestly, it helps me know what's landing for you. You can do it right now while you're listening. I would really appreciate it. For information on topics like this and many more, come back to this podcast, The Behavior Blueprint Weekly, and you can always check out my content on Instagram and TikTok at The Family Behaviorist. Thanks so much.